And you all will get a link to this recording tomorrow morning. So if there was a note you missed or a question you want to re-ask, or you have that opportunity.
Hey, everybody. So again, welcome to the Smart Hustle Workshop Series, I believe. Oh, Smart Hustle Clinic. I think that's what we said, Jamie. Welcome to the Smart Hustle Clinic. So glad you're here today. And again, many of you know the Smart Hustle Ramon Ray brand. So I'm excited to have you here and many friends here. What's up, Steve Isaacson, who I know, who we've been on several platforms. Linnell is here and so many from a Clubhouse audience and more as well. And for many of you, this may be the first time of seeing Jamie Frayer, who has worked with me for over 5 years, who does a lot of the digital work and more with Smart Hustle and the team. Ashish, welcome. Good to see you here. Many friends who are here as well. So we're glad you're here today. And there's one or two things that we promise you today. And no matter how long you can say, and if you have to run off, by the way, no need to say in the chat, sorry, I got to go. It is no problem. Go when you got to go. But one, you know, we're going to have a lot of fun. That's just how I roll. So we're going to have a lot of fun. We promise you that. Two, you're going to have a lot of information. And we promise you that, especially with Jamie here, this is a clinic. This is where we're going to teach you stuff. We didn't prepare to do screen sharing. We probably won't this time. But as we do this more and more, this is a clinic where you have about an hour where we're going to pour into you what I call it, right, Jamie, behind the scenes of what we do. And again, we can do better. I've learned a lot from Jamie. So I'm so glad she's here because we both are technologists in that respect, but we have different strengths. So again, Mala and so many others are here. I got to say hi, Jamie, to everybody because I'm getting so excited. So welcome, welcome, welcome. We're going to have a lot of fun and we are going to pour into you and teach you stuff today. And it's important to us. Again, Jamie will talk about these things later on, but we want to hear your feedback, whether you want to put it in the chat, but for sure afterwards, so we can capture it later, emails and all that. Let us know how we're doing. That's really important because if we don't do those two promises, we're failing. So welcome, welcome, and welcome. And one thing I want to say and remind us all right from the top, why are we in business? That's so important to me to state that or crystallize it as I turn 50 years old this year. Why are we doing this? We're doing this so we can earn a living. We're doing this so we can spend more time with our family. We're doing this so we can support the people who we love. I know Lee agrees with that. Evan agrees with that. Terrence agrees with that. Christina Howard, Linnell's here, and so many others I've gotten to know. My friend Ashish and so many are here. This is why we're doing it. Jamie's the reason she's doing it. Yes, we enjoy what we do. Yes, we enjoy serving our clients, our customers, right? Many of you have got to share the stage with and be around, right? So I know you have that heart. We're doing this for our family. Some of you may have seen in my Facebook or Instagram, my sister, hey, Linnell, good to see your big smile. My sister just had a baby. When I was holding her, and I'm not being, this is no slick sales thing, whatever here. Thank you, Steve. But holding her, I'm thinking, okay, I'm her uncle. I now have a 20-year roadmap, or as it were. You feel what I mean? Meaning that's another reason that I'm trying to do what I do before I pass away. So that probably brought the whole energy down, but this is a fact. None of us are going to live forever. And so Evan's still smiling, so that's good. So it's important to know why we're doing this. And this is all part of, thank you for giving us the permission, the trust, and that we can share some things with you for the next 55 minutes that we have of what we're doing, and particularly how you can use automation, hey, Julie, to grow your business. And feel free to use the chat, make money from each other. Business development doesn't distract us. Well, that's a lot.
Put your links. Put your links in that chat. Absolutely.
Yes. And one secret I'll tell you, HTTPS, from what I've seen, / alert to Zoom, that is a link. I think, JB, just www from what I've seen doesn't make it a live link. But the HTTPS, thank you, / makes it a live link. So that's one. Two, grow your solo. Many of you have seen and purchased Grow Your Solo. This is outgrowth is the subset of the concept I talk about, especially my Clubhouse audience. Every Monday at 7:30, I say the last 20 minutes, grow your solo. What are the few things we can do to grow a solo business? That's number two. Number three, also, this is part of the pillar of what does it mean to be the celebrity CEO? Most of you have gotten the book or somewhere in there, you got the material about being the celebrity CEO. So now as I turn to point four, and as I'm coming to an end here with this and turn it over to Jamie, the part we're talking about here is marketing automation. This has been probably one of the number one things that I've been asked about on Clubhouse, as I do every Monday. Linnell can testify to that. Christina can testify to that. I talk about everything, and it's usually, Ramon, stop. CRM, What are you using? How are you using it? Follow up. What do you mean follow up? Email marketing, the whole rubric. It's one of the most in-demand things I'm always asked to talk about. And Christina has affirmed that with her golden thumbs up. So this is what we're diving into today. Jamie and I are here. Jamie Frere, may I introduce you? Jamie Frere, may I do that as best I can? Great.
Yeah.
So listen, Jamie Frere is an amazing human. Her expertise, as far as I see it, one is productivity. Productivity, how to prioritize quick and silo things in a good way. So that's productivity. Number two, marketing. She will say not, and we have different strengths in marketing, but she's been around, supported enough experts that she's a pretty good darn marketer, and especially the tools of marketing, which we're going to touch on today. So marketing. Three, she's just an amazing human. Jamie has been with me for 6 years and really is invested, not in this Ramon Ray brand, but also in Smart Hustle and overall growth. So I think, Jamie, I'm going to pause there, because if I don't pause there, Jamie, I'll go on for the next 47 minutes, and that won't be good. So, Jamie, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Thank you, Ramon. I am Jamie Frere, and I have been working with Ramon for 6 years, like he said. And no, I don't consider myself a marketer. I feel like that encompasses copy and design, but I am a tech nerd, and I love tools. And in the process of learning about CRMs and LMSs and email marketing platforms, I, of course, have picked up a lot of knowledge about marketing, and it applies, right? Because why would I be using the tools if we're not marketing? So I will admit, we did plan some slides, and I'm happy to share them, and we can run through the presentation. It's just really 6 of what is dozens and dozens of ways that you can market or automate things in your business, whether it's marketing or follow-up, so that you can grow and scale. Or we can just we have a very full room, and you seem very active. I have some questions I'm going to ask you. We can open the floor for questions, but I do have these 6 tips that we can run through if you like. I do want to touch on, Ramon says, why do we do this? I did this personally. My why for starting my business and my kind of journey as an online business manager and working for myself was I just wanted more independence and freedom. And I felt the typical 9 to 5 was incredibly stifling. As many of you know, when you start and grow a business, there is nothing freedom. There's no freedom in that. You're working 12, 13, 14-hour days, sometimes longer. You're working when babies are sleeping or between bites. And so I was constantly looking for ways to free up time, because that's what I wanted. I wanted to do my time what I wanted to do, not what my business wanted me to do. And so I, learned about CRMs and things that I could automate just to make my life easier. So I'm going to start by asking you guys a few questions, because I want to know where you're at in your journey. So here's the first one, and it's, are you currently using a CRM to manage your contacts? Simple yes or no, or what's the CRM? Okay.
Lie and don't lie. If you lie, Zoom will know it, and your whole computer your computer will sizzle. If you lie, and some of you went like this, I saw it. I could see Sharon and Jay Brown and Crystal Jones like, don't lie, Zoom will know, and it will sizzle. I'm just teasing. I was giving Jamie time.
It's about half. About half of you are using a CRM. The other half aren't. We do have at least one person who says, what's a CRM? So very quickly, a CRM stands for client or customer relationship management. Many of you, those who aren't using a CRM, I'm assuming, are managing your customers in a spreadsheet, which is okay if you have 5 or 10. It's not going to work so well if you have 20 or 30 or hundreds. So a CRM offers you a place to store the contact or client information, and not just basic information, but often about purchases, interactions that they've had, so you can get a full picture of your relationship with the client. That's a high-level overview. If you need more, that's an entirely different webinar. So the next question I have for you is, which CRM are you using? And I'll get that up here in a second. Or
told
not.
You, this is a clinic. This is a clinic. We're diving all in your business today.
Let's see which CRM everyone is using. I'm curious. I have my favorites, but I'm not married to any of them. HubSpot, Zoho. I have to admit, I'm a Zoholic. I truly am. I love Zoho. Lee's a Zoholic. Okay. Other. There's a lot of people using other. Okay, in the chat, I need to know what the other is. 50% of you are not using what I would have considered some of the most popular. So is it Excel?
Oh, I love it. Trello, I'm seeing here. Nimble's cool. John Ferrer is amazing.
So Trello, I didn't know they had CRM. I thought that was more of a project management tool. Nimble, yes, Nimble's a good one.
And I see FileMaker there, Jamie. FileMaker reminds me of my UN days. Okay,
that's an older one. FileMaker. Mailchimp, yeah, Mailchimp. I consider that an email marketing platform, but they do have added recently CRM capabilities. I am Mailchimp certified, so that is true. It's very limited, just between you and I, Grace, but there is a CRM there too. I would love to know how we're using Trello as a CRM. I guess probably the boards to manage your clients. Speaker flow. Yeah. Okay, awesome. Okay, we're gonna end that poll. Couple keep users, HubSpot. HubSpot's good, Zoho again. And then one other question is, are you automating any parts of your business? And again, I just want to know where we're all at. Oh, we got some people still joining.
So you know you're getting busy when the person who's helping you run something, when they need an assistant, then you know you're cooking.
Yeah, we need another tech person to produce. 70% of you not automating anything yet, but some of you are using a CRM because 50% of you are using a CRM. So some of you have a CRM, but are only using it for contact management. All socials are automated. Okay, Cal, good. Okay, this is interesting. So one question, and I don't have it in a poll, we could just do a share of hands, or you could put yes or no. Should I skip the slides of 6 ideas and we can just sit here and have a nice, organic, casual conversation? You can ask Ramon and I anything related to marketing automation, or we can start running through some of these slides and you can ask questions as ideas come up. You tell me.
Gail, I see your nod. Gail, before you got out of your mouth, Jamie, Gail was like, oh no.
Everyone wants the slide. I'm surprised. Okay, slides it is.
And it may, and even if we don't use the slides fully, Jamie, I think what I can do if you want, I can run through actually, even without the slides or with them, doesn't matter. I think it's in our script, run through the 6. I'll just say that out, call that out, and why CRM, and then I'll turn it over to you. How does that sound? Or is there a different way we should do it?
No, that sounds great. So here we go. Can everyone see those slides?
Cool. So I'll jump into it. So, and one thing I do want to say right at the top of marketing, what I call it marketing automation intro, and I wrote these new, Jamie, this is probably not the slides, but I just wanted to share, to bring it all together, because some of you are using CRM and may not know why you should use it. Some of you are not using a CRM and wonder, but I just wanted to say right at the top 4 key things that are important for me. Again, this is a clinic. So we're just sharing with you what we're doing to help you. I think 1, save time, save money. I think that's very important. The more time you can save in your business, it focuses you on other things. As I say on Clubhouse all the time, I'm not the guy to help you build $1 billion company. That's not me. But have I built several companies that were very small businesses successfully? Yes. So if you have a CRM using marketing automation, you can follow up, you can segment your customers, another thing we'll get into. That's 1. And I think 2, not forgetting about what's important. That's really important to keep in mind. Things like thank you cards are the things we're going to dive into. It's hard to remember everything. So I think that's why we're doing marketing automation. 2, I must say, there's manual automation. So even those of you who say, Ramon, this is not for me, I know you're going to learn. You may not want to do all this all the time, but as Julie said, she uses sticky notes or whatever it was. That's kind of an automation as well. Now, I don't know if Julie has a wall full of 1,000 sticky notes, and I say it tongue in cheek a bit, but at least you're remembering to do it. You're doing things like, even I do it in Google Calendar. I have a reminder every Friday, go through my finances. Not quite automation. Jamie and I are going to share the things, but even I encourage you, those of you who are not even doing simple things like that, to remind you to do certain things, even start using the tasks and reminders in Google just to remind you to do the stuff you should. That's 2. 3, as Jamie has said, there are so many ways you can use automation. We're going to touch on some of those things right now in a few seconds. There's so many things you can, hundreds and hundreds. Today, we're going to talk about 6 key things, and then we'll take the time for open Q&A with how we can help you use marketing automation. So with that, Jamie, if you want to pull that slide up, I'll run through these 6 at a high level. And then, Jamie, if you don't mind, I'll let you drive me what we're going to do.
Absolutely. So there you go.
Yeah. So right at the top, I'm just going to give a broad overview of these, and then I'm going to turn to Jamie to dive into maybe how we can do it, her tips or experience. And we'll keep going on. So one, ask your happy customers. I think that's very important to do. Again, listen, it's important to ask people, how am I doing? How could I do better? Surveys, because you'll find, of course, that it's easier to sell to work with people who already know you than new people. Lee Hayes and I have worked together for some time now, some years. There's no question needed. Ramon, can you? The answer is yes. There's already the know, like, and trust. And this is one thing we're talking about. People who are satisfied with you, work with them. But I'm getting ahead of myself. So that's one. Number two, then, is the aspect of validate your targeting. Steve Isaacson, right? He's the number one guy that does print and things of this nature, customized calendars, things of this nature. He can validate his targeting. Maybe he's sending an email. Maybe he's calling up people who he thinks are billion-dollar large brands. Oh no, but through his CRM and things Jamie was going to show and talk about, and et cetera, he's realizing, 30% of them are nonprofits that have just started. Is that a new area I need to get into? So I hope you feel understanding what I'm saying about this aspect of validating your targeting. I do that in my own business. Number three, this is really cool. Again, we'll talk about it in depth. Simulate real email interactions to sell. And this one is really, really interesting because email is still powerful. So Julie works with, I think Julie works with ladies and others and helping them live better lives. That's my way of saying it, Julie. If I got it all wrong, forgive me. But Julie does that. And so my point is, she could use email in a way to short circuit and narrow down who she may need to get on the phone with. So again, we're going to recap these. I'm just going over them at a high level. And Jamie, I hope I'm doing a good job. So good. Number three. Number four, choose your own adventure selling. I think, Evan, am I right, Evan? You help people with sales or mindset coaching? Feel free to unmute. I think I can't. Okay. Evan was like, I got it. Mindset coaching. So that's what Evan does. So choose your own adventure selling. In his case, he could have an email go out and say, listen, are you a young guy really frustrated with your college experience? As an example, the 30% who clicked on that, Evan can have a whole campaign just targeting them. The 42% that says, I'm a high net worth female professional, that's another segment. So this aspect of choose your own adventure selling, some of you are sending one email to everybody in your list. Stop that. There's a better way. And Jamie hasn't. All right. Number five is automated testimonial collection. I don't do this as well as I should. Again, as we've said, there's so many things you can do, and we're always trying to do things better. But I'm telling you, when you all finish client work, when you all finish something, you should have something automated going out knowing if we did well, can we have a testimonial? And then number six, automatically send cool things to a new customer. I got this in the mail from a guy who used to work at Disney. I think they call it a wow box. Okay, they call this a wow box. I need one of these after we go speaking somewhere. And it has all kind of cool stuff in it.
Wow.
Yes. See, Jamie went, wow. And it's really cool. And it's funny. Then I'm going to turn the whole show over to Jamie. I know we're losing time, but is that we talked in the meeting we did a joke about flannel sweaters. And no, Mike was not in the room, Lee, but we did a joke about flannel shirts or something. This guy had the presence of mind to remember it and send me a catalog all about flannel jackets. So my point is, he automated that process. When I clicked, he automated send Ramon something. So Jamie, I'll stop. I hope that was helpful just to whet your appetite. These are things you can use to automate in your business. Jamie, if I can turn this over to you for this one, explain and continue on. When you want me, just call on me.
So Ramon gave us an overview of the 6 items we're going to talk about. It's really 2 items in each of these 3 categories, and I'm not going to go into them in depth because, again, it's an entirely different webinar. But if you're going to grow and scale your business and automate things, you've got to understand the customer cycle.
Yes.
Pardon me?
I'm having trouble with
That
it.
man was terrible.
Somebody's unmuted. If you want to make me a co-host, Jamie, you can make me a co-host as well, and I can help mute to
Get
send
back to me. They haven't gotten back to me yet.
Hey, Mary, we can hear your mic's unmuted.
Yeah,
Mary,
good.
just so you know.
I just muted Mary.
Go for it.
So
Continue.
quickly, so there are 3 kind of phases to the customer life cycle within each phase or stages. So we've got collect leads, convert clients, create fans. We're going to talk about 2 ways that you can automate in each of these categories, starting with collecting leads, because if you're going to grow and scale your business, that usually needs more sales, more leads, right? It's an obvious next step. So as Ramon mentioned, it is much easier to sell to an existing customer, to upsell to them, to get them to buy more. And of course, if you're going to sell to an existing customer, you want to know who the happy customers are, because if they're happy, they're likely to rebuy or to refer. So of course, you can automate surveys to find out who your happy customers are. There are all sorts of things you can ask, and depending on what CRM you're using, some CRMs have survey tools already included. Zoho is a great CRM that includes a survey function. Keep does not, but it will work well with Qualtrics, with Zoho, with SurveyMonkey is another one. Plus this is an integration that works well with Keep, may offer some surveying platforms. But the idea is, start asking your clients, are they happy? What made them happy? What didn't make them happy? Just like Ramon asked you at the beginning, we're going to want some feedback from you. Find out who your happy customers are. This can all be automated. And of course, once you know who's happy, maybe you want to deliver a special discount or a special offer to happy customers. Maybe the unhappy customers you want to follow up with individually to find out why, or you want to try to re-engage them. Those are all things that absolutely can be automated. This is super entry level, right? It's really basic. Outside of just automating a newsletter every week or every month, whatever your cadence is, sending surveys is a really basic level automation process, and a good way to gauge how well you're doing or how happy your customers are. So that's one way in the collecting leads phase, is you can start finding out who your happy customers are, because they're likely to refer you to other customers. So your assignment: how are you measuring customer satisfaction? Are you currently measuring customer satisfaction? Let me see in the chat, yes or no. Are you asking your current clients if they're happy, and how are you doing that? Julie says yes, she is. Steve, no. Okay, Julie's using a survey to do it. Shalanda's doing it. Ramon wants to do it more. Everyone admits not as good as I need to. So automate the process. Think about the customer journey within your business. And when someone is nearing the end, just send an automatic survey questionnaire, and then you'll do it better, right? It pulls a step away. And then all you've got to do is look at some of those results, Steve. And personal touches are important. And personal touches are great if you've got a manageable list of clients, but if you want to grow and scale to dozens or hundreds, that's going to become incredibly difficult, right? Ramona, I am going to make you a co-host here.
Oh, no problem.
Because some people are coming in late, and I want you to be able to let them into the room.
Absolutely.
So Ramon talked about validating your targeting. Again, part of the customer journey is knowing who your customer is, your customer audience, who your customers are, who your target audience is. You can have more than one target audience. One great example of that is, let's just say, McDonald's. They, of course, cater to children with their Happy Meals, and they cater to adults with their pricing. And, they've been trying to revamp some of the restaurants and food. But how do you know if your marketing is actually hitting that target audience? And again, we're going to talk about surveys because they're easy and they're basic. So what you can do is think about who you've identified your target audience is. Maybe your target audience is college-educated women who own a home and have 2 children. I'm throwing it out there, right? So create a survey asking questions of everyone in your contact list in your database, assuming that you have one, to find out, are they a woman? Are they college educated? Do they own a home? And when you get those results, if you see that most of your database is filled with, men who graduated high school and are single with a dog, then your marketing is probably off, right? It's not hitting
and
the
you can
right
start a dating
target.
service. And you can start a dating service.
And you can
Sorry,
start
I
a
couldn't help
dating
myself.
service.
Go ahead, Jamie. Sorry.
No, that's okay. So those are 2 great ways when we're looking at attracting leads. First, are we targeting the right people in our marketing? Is our database filled with people, assuming you have one, filled with people that we think are our audience? And can we survey our clients? I'm going to stop there. that's super basic. We're going to get deeper and allow people to ask questions because I like questions. I don't
And
like
Jamie, let me add
head.
one thing as well. And just look at I think the co-hosting, just check that again while I'm giving you a breather.
Yeah.
And one thing about the targeting, even what we do at Smart Hustle, again, I'm talking to you how I run my own business. It's interesting when you send out an email like this, and I see some people in the chat, this is resonating. A lot of people I'm seeing are saying, I need to do this. I need help with this. So this is good. But as you're emailing people, what I call an ethical spying, you can then see who clicked and who's engaging. So as many of you know, I work with very, very large brands. When I send out emails, and even if they're here, it's okay. When I send out emails, I can go back and see over time, oh, this particular brand, this particular client is deeply engaged with Ramon. Who do you think I can go to for a proposal? So I want to that's the power of CRM. If you're just sending out emails by themselves, that's a good start. But if you're not maximizing, automating it, and then looking at the data, looking at how it's working, that's how you can upgrade. Because many of you know, there's no use, you're sending the people who are unengaged with you. It's okay, but I'm encouraging you, I'm begging you tonight, it's about get a CRM and use it properly. Jamie, back to you.
Barbara Ann has a great question. How many questions should be on a pre-qual form? So that's pretty loaded because examples of pre-qualification forms. It's going to depend on your business, right? Of course, you need your name, email address, contact information, the basics so that you can contact them to follow up. And then you've got to decide what makes someone a good client for you. Things to remember, the more questions people have to answer, we're lazy and we lose attention. So if your form's filled with stuff, you may frustrate people and their leave. Now, some people will tell you that's a pre-qualification in and of itself. If they don't want to fill out the form, then they really don't want to work with you. I would say, I like the words clarity, brevity, and punch, right? Be clear and be brief and be impactful. And you can do that with qualification forms. So ask the questions that are going to give you at least enough information to determine if a follow-up is warranted, whether it's a personal follow-up or an automated follow-up. Pre-qualification forms are important, especially as you're growing your business, because you don't want to spend time following up with leads that really aren't in your target audience and aren't going to be a good fit. How many questions? We can talk offline about that. I'd have to know about your business. But again, I would look at 5, 6 key criteria. If you're working maybe in a consulting business and you only work with established speakers, Ramon, maybe you want speakers who have done X amount of events or generating a certain amount of revenue. I would ask those questions. But again, try to keep those forms relatively short. They can be a barrier to entry. If people fill out the form and you think it's worth it, you can always send them another one. That's my answer.
I love it. And I'll add, and we can't, this is a clinic, 1 hour, we should probably do it for 4 hours. Ask the right question. Me as a professional speaker, as one example, is one line of revenue that I do, bringing in this person, one line of revenue that I do is ask the right question. And I know Lee will agree with this. Again, I reference Lee a lot, we're friends, so I work with her quite a bit, is that I can ask people, do you hire speakers? Yeah, we hire speakers. Possibly the wrong question, because their idea of hiring speakers was $250 and a pizza. So maybe I should have asked, do you engage Damon John, Marcus Lemonis at your event? And do you have events with people over 1,000? So that's just from my case. But as you're using CRM example as well, we can go on with this, but I see the questions coming in, great. But is ask the right questions as well. And sometimes the obvious question I found, and I've learned by hard knocks, is not necessarily the right question. Especially if I want to keep it short, to Jamie's point, I need to ask anyhow, whatever the mindset question is on that. Jamie, back to you. Julie has a question.
Julie mentioned she has a question on her form about budget, and she has an option for someone to choose. I just want something cheap. And it's funny, that's a qualifier right now. Those are people who are going to hire you. I love it. Barbara Ann, getting through spam filters, their email subject lines, that is the question of the next millennia, right? As long as we're using email marketing, this is what I can tell you. If you're thinking about writing a statement that begins with I, talking about yourself, try to turn it into a you statement. Be authentic. Try to evoke emotion. Avoid those spammy buzzwords like click here, do it now, time's running out. Think about all of the subject lines that you get and ignore, and don't do that. I mean, who is your audience? What are their problems? What message do they want to hear? It's very interesting because I sent 3 emails, invitations to our audience to invite people to this account or to this event. And those email subject lines I thought were pretty short, sweet, and they all had 45% open rates, which I think is pretty phenomenal. So you're all here because of my email subject line. That's what got you, right? So thank you
Jamie,
for that.
Julie has her hand up too, just so you know.
Yes, Julie, what?
Sorry,
Lindell
has her hand up. Excuse me, Lindell has her hand up.
Hi, Ramon. Thank you
Hey,
for
Lindell. Good, thanks for being here. Lindell's an amazing human who I get to spend time with on Clubhouse several times a week. Go ahead, Lindell.
Oh, I just love you, love you, love you. Okay, so Jamie, my question, Jamie or Jamie? I'm sorry.
Jamie.
Okay, thank you. So my question is whether or not we can control, like say we're in sales, because I have 2 different businesses that I do. And if we're in sales and we're targeting a particular demographic of customers, how can we control how many of the salesy emails that person has as opposed to something that's more interactive, similar to what you sent out? And I'll go myself. I hope the question was clear.
So one thing that Ramon does and we do here, as you see, is we deliver a bunch of information. Every email is not sales. So if you have an email list and you're marketing to your list and every email is a promotion, you're going to turn them off, period. So my rule is like 80-20. It should be a minimum of 80% education, giving them information, sharing thoughts, lead magnets, just really educating your clients of who you are, establishing yourself as an expert in your field, in your industry, getting them comfortable hearing from you, seeing from you. And then, 20% of the time you can throw in an offer. So 5 emails of education and then maybe an offer. 5 means, Ramon, we probably email some of you guys 3 or 4 times a week. And I think it's all primarily education. We, when we promote, it's for a reason, and we try to do it only if it's of value. So just think about who your clients are, what problems you're solving for them, and make sure that you're delivering education before you try to sell. People only buy from people they like, know, and trust. So if all your emails are cold promo, no one's going to take the time to get to know you, so they can't like you and they can't trust you. Educate them first. Tell them about yourself.
And I will add to that, and then we have a few. I know time is running away from us, so we got to move on to some things. We'll keep the questions coming, but I think, Jamie, another thing that is, as you all know, Thursdays at 2 p.m. There's nothing salesy, as it were, maybe a link, but I just share my insight with all of you. Those are on my list. That's it. Thursday at 2 p.m. I talk about my world, what I'm doing, how I feel. And then Sunday at 3 p.m. is a wrap up of what comes on Smart Hustle. So those 2 things, pure information. And again, indeed, as we say on Clubhouse, right? Your fee for getting that information. Yes, some people can unsubscribe, but to listen to me say something, hey, we have a sponsor, we have a brand, we're selling you something, and I have no shame about that. So again, feel free and that. And Linnell, if that question was served, Linnell, feel free on your own, just click your hand down in the little menu there, just so you know. And we have another one coming up from Jane, but Jamie, I'll turn it back over to you.
Yeah, so those are 2 basic ideas, and we talked about pre-qualification forms. That's another great way to use a CRM to manage some of your leads. So we'll just move forward.
And
in the next
Jane
part
has
of
a
the
question
journey.
as well. Her hand's up on the screen, Jamie. Jane,
Hi, Jane.
Wallace.
Go ahead, Jane. We'll get your question next.
I just thought that you would finish your thought.
Oh, no, go ahead. We'll get your question, then I'll move on to the next section.
Well, thanks for letting me come up and ask. Not here, I can see that it's not the focus, but in coming times, or if you have a library, not a library, a Zoom of having done so before, if there is the walkthrough of how to start hiring virtual assistants in the form of a service arm to help those of us who are siloed and heck, don't want to be, can't be, it'll just keep us in too much of a bottleneck, that we start to render outsourcing, even if we are quote unquote broke of finances, to really start getting that help to ourselves, so as our heads as well as other part of life that is ours doesn't explode.
We absolutely can give you some information on that. Ramon
Thanks.
covers that and Grow Your Solo. Oh, Ramon just added a link for a Virtual Assistant 101, how to hire. And I put my email address in the chat. So if you have a question that we didn't have time to get to today, email me. If you have a question that's not related to marketing automation, email me. I started as a virtual assistant. I'm now an online business manager. I didn't go through my credentials, but I'm certified in Zoho. I'm certified in Infusionsoft, which is now Keep. I'm certified working on several HubSpot certifications and Mailchimp, Constant Contact, Talent LMS. If it's CRM or LMS, which is learning management systems related, I've probably played with it. So if you have questions outside of marketing automation, feel free to email me and I will do my best to help you or get you in the right direction.
And Jamie, what I suggest maybe we can do, Jamie, is maybe go through, high level the slide deck, then save the rest of the time.
Yeah.
We'll open Q&A back again. How about that? So
Yeah,
Gail, I see your hand, Gail. Give Jamie and I some grace. Give us 10 more minutes, five minutes or so, and then we'll go back to all these. This is wonderful.
So many
Gail.
people were interested in the slides. Let's run through the slides. I'll do them really quickly, and then we'll just leave whatever's left. And I'm happy to stay a little past 6 if you guys have lots of questions. I'm flexible. Ramon can leave. But let's move from we've collected some leads, and now we want to convert those leads for clients. What are some things that we can do? We can simulate real email interactions to sell, and it doesn't have to be to sell. It could be to follow up. This is important. I have a lot of clients who don't like the word automate because they think it's bots. It's not personal, particularly my clients who deal with a lot of C-suite executives. They don't want to send automations, but there are ways that you can simulate that and no one would be the wiser. And I'm just going to run through this quickly, and it can get kind of techy, and I'm not going to get into the tech details, but what you could do if you have a CRM, you can send out a sales email and say, if you're interested, reply to this email. And if you set it up with a particular inbox and with some right integrations and the right tech help, me or anyone else who's techie at this, when the reply comes in, the algorithm will search for particular words, and then it will automatically send a follow-up with whatever offer. And there are tons of ways you can customize even that follow-up using snippets, using merge fields. It does not have to feel automated, right? It doesn't have to necessarily come from your CRM. You could send this from your mine is Precision Executive Services. I can send an email from @Precision Executive Services. And if you're interested, reply to this. And when a reply comes in, it doesn't have to be me. I can use my CRM and automations to do the reply, and my client is no wiser. So that's one great way to do it. CRM 101 from Ramon in the chat. That's awesome. So we talked about simulate real interactions, moving them in through the funnel. In funnels, we can talk for hours about sales funnels. When you talked about how can you avoid spam and making promotions, again, 80% education before you make an offer, and you'll start converting. Choose your own adventure selling. This is funny. If you are a child of the 80s, like myself, you may remember these books where you would read a story and get to a page and it would say, if you want to do this, go to page 35. If you want to do this, go to page 48. You can do the very same thing with your CRM. You can send an email, and in this example, I use an exterminator who scorpions. I chose scorpions because I'm a Scorpio. If you have scorpions in your home, I want to know where you live because I don't want to live there. But this exterminator is scorpions and ants. And we're going to send an email to everyone on his list and find out if they have a problem with scorpions or ants. And depending on which they choose, it's a simple button. You can send them through a funnel with information dedicated to their specific problem. So scorpions go one way, ants go another way, and you can continue your funnel and tailor convert. This is easy. This is the easy way to do it, right? It can get even more complicated depending on how many funnels and how many steps to your sales process there are. But this is one way, again, that you can grow your business by delivering the right content to the right people at the right time. So we've talked about choose your own adventure selling. The AMP person took this, maybe we sent them a survey, and it just goes on. It could be endless. If you're going to build a sales funnel, I suggest you get a whiteboard, some sticky notes, and really plan it out well. If you just kind of jump into it, you may find it doesn't convert. We can talk about that later. Finally, you've got a client and you want to create fans. You're servicing them, but you want to make them super happy. Ramon touched upon testimonials, right? Ask your happy customers for referrals, word of mouth. I've been in business for myself 10 years and 98% of it has been word of mouth. Thank you, Ramon. I ask my happy customers to, share the word if I have an opening, and they do that. So very early on in our conversation, we talked about finding out who's happy. Once you know who's happy, ask them for a referral. You can do that personally, or you can automate that ask. If you're super techie, you can even give them a form where they upload the testimonial, not the referral, where they upload their testimonial. So you don't have to do anything. You just go and collect it and run it and play it. Ask for testimonials, ask for referrals, happy customer. Okay, I learned this in business. 20 years ago, I'm dating myself. 20 years ago, I was working in the restaurant business and it stuck with me forever. I was at some training and they talked about an unhappy customer will tell the world. They're going to run and tell 10, 100 people. Happy customers, they will sometimes, but not as often, right? You usually share your bad experiences because you're angry and you want to vent. So ask your happy customers for referrals because they'll give them to you. It may not be at the top of their head, but they'll give them to you. And when they're giving you referrals, they're going to tell their other people, hey, they worked out great for me. He did a wonderful marketing campaign. Steve Isaacson printed the best materials. Try his services. That's what you want, because those leads coming into you are now warm. They're not cold leads. They've been referred. They have someone they know and trust who's suggesting you. It gives you an in. And then finally, we talked about customers. I'm skipping the slides.
Hey, Jamie, before you get to 6, I'm so used to resetting the room right now. And can I just do that?
I just want to make sure we have time to answer everyone's questions.
Yeah, that's true. And if people have to run, I know some people have to run, but we're available by email. But some people will stay. Me and Jamie, I'll be here for a while too. But I just want to reset and just explain. All of you are in business. Many of you have some software tools. All of you probably have Gmail, Outlook. And I just want to repeat and underline that I need to, but I just feel to. Jamie and I are experimenting how we serve you our best. We're doing this because automation, as we are small businesses, the more you can automate, the more you can do all this. I must say as well, what I do in my business, I'm showing you what I do. We automate so that those I need to hold hand, those I need to get a bigger check from, then we can talk to Ramon. But everybody else, we can automate, and still serve. So I just felt to say that, to set the stage why we're doing this. And this is not easy work. I'm a techie. But again, Jamie helps set up a lot of these systems. And some of you may have those people. You said, I think it was Julie. She's like, yeah, my VA person keeps telling me to do it. Well, Julie, let her or him do it. So I just wanted to say that, Jamie, continue on point number 6. But this is what we do in our business. I do this with my big clients, my small clients. We automate. Hey, would you like this? The 22% who say yes and fill out the form, if I need to, I can then email them directly or call them. So your funnels can be as complex or as simple as you want, but to narrow down to get to a yes is the key, instead of just telling everybody the same thing. Go ahead, Jamie. All you.
Yeah, no problem. And, automation can be scary sometimes. Again, it feels impersonal, and you're talking to someone, me, who can't stand having to push 1 to speak English and then 2 to get to an operator. Like, I just want to talk to someone live. I like the personal stuff. But like Ramon said, if you don't learn to automate the things that you're doing repetitively or that are just major time sucks, you're never going to, you're going to spend so much time working in your business that you can't work on it to grow it. My favorite words, and they're buzzwords, you've heard them everywhere: automate, delegate, eliminate, and repeat. If you can't automate it and you can't delegate it and you can't eliminate it, then it's probably something that you need to do. And I hope it's driving revenue. If it's not driving revenue, find a way to automate it, delegate it, or eliminate it. So finally, we talked about sending cool things to a new customer. You would be surprised. A lot of these CRMs integrate. This is like Send a Brownie. They're a really great company at Send a Card, I think, and then they send brownies too. But your CRM can integrate with your emails, with surveys, with follow-ups. Maybe you just place a tag because you had a great conversation, and once that tag is applied, it automatically sends someone a gift card. Starbucks, Amazon. The ideas, I want to say, are endless. That's not necessarily true because the integrations, you know, we're still growing, tech is still building, but there are a ton of ideas. So yeah, it's nice to get a handwritten card. Oh, you can automate handwritten cards if you haven't done that. And I'm down for handwritten cards. I love to get a personalized card, but it makes my hand hurt to write them. I found like 3 great companies that they're handwritten, but they're by a machine and they look amazing. So automate, especially your email marketing, especially your client follow-up. It would be a lot easier to go to a networking event, especially as we are all beginning to kind of open up, and you collect 50 business cards, and to be able to scan them, not even type, but scan them into your CRM, add a tag, and have an email go out to all 50 of them within a few hours of meeting, and you're not sitting, you know, in your hotel room after this networking event, you know, ready to go to bed because you've had a full day but you want to follow up timely. Don't do that. We can automate. I'm going to stop there because I gave you 6. There are dozens of dozens. We kept this high level. It's only an hour. We've got 13 minutes, and I'm happy to stay probably an extra 15 minutes. So I'll give you a half an hour just to ask me or Ramon anything.
And Gail is first. Gail, it's all you. And thank you for the question. Thank you, Jamie. By the way, can we just give a woo woo or a thumbs up? Or there we go. Thank you, Jamie. That was
Thank
awesome.
you. Thank
and then
you,
again,
thank
this
you.
is just a taste to whet your appetite. But Gail and then Christina.
Okay.
Let's go, Christina.
My question, well, my statement first is, we are opening probably in the next 6 months. So we know who our customers are. We're business to business. And so how do we initiate these first contacts? We
Business to
send out some
business.
emails with not too many good responses. We send out surveys, no response.
Business to business is a much tougher beast, and I think you're going to need to go a little more personal to collect the contacts. I don't think you're really going to have a lot of success automating there because we're business people and we're savvy to that. So I think when you're collecting those first initial leads, especially as a new, you're going to be looking for referrals. You're going to want to get out there, make phone calls, do those networking events if you can, do it safely and with health, and make those initial contacts, and then you can start educating them with the emails. The other thing is, look at some of the email content that you're sending. Is it very promotional, or are you educating? If you're educating, just keep doing it, depending on the industry that you're in. Some industries have sales cycles where it will take 18 to 24 months between first contact to actually making a buy, and you've got to be patient. So first, understand who your client is. It sounds like you do that. Understand the sales cycle. It might take a little longer.
We don't have a sales cycle.
Okay, B2B, I'm gonna say B2B.
You probably have one.
Yeah, Ramon, you do a lot of B2B. I think, but you do a lot of personal interaction for that.
Yeah, well, we've kind of figured that out. We need to do more personal interactions and then start with the emails.
Yeah, I don't know what kind of event I don't know what kind of business it is, but I can tell you, and Ramon will tell you, events are a great way to collect leads. Now, all of you guys are you're in our audience. So we didn't hold this event in an effort to collect leads. We want to just educate, but holding events are a great way because they get to see you and they get to know you and they get to hear your contact. So if you have an event, make sure that you have a landing page, a QR code. Those are really fun that you can drive them to get more information.
What's up, Joe Zephyr, my brother from another mother?
Thank you.
Listen, and Gail, one thing I'll add about the B2B and business selling, I know it's not easy, but I will say that what works for us here at Smart Hustle, even though, again, everybody's business is different, and since you're just starting out, And I'm not saying it's the right thing to do. So you may want to work with a sales coach, whatever. But somehow, if people in business can get a bit less businessy and add a little personal flair to it, I understand if Boeing's selling to Starbucks, nobody gives a darn to some degree. It's still human. But if Gail or your team, hey, nice to meet you. This is Gail. Listen, I know your pain point is you're tired of those kids going across, scuffing your floors. And I know you took the mop 2XA. Listen, we have 10,000. You get what I'm saying? I'm trying to make it difficult.
Yeah.
Like it works for anything, but that little bit of personal mojo. Hey, it's Saturday. Good morning. But so anyhow, I'll stop there and keep the questions coming. If you have a question, we can see it best just hitting your hand button because it pops up in Zoom. But listen, you have Jamie here. That's a treat to have a ninja like Jamie. You're welcome, Gail. Anybody
welcome,
else?
Gail.
Keep raising
Thank you,
your hand.
Ramon.
Keep it up. You're welcome. Anybody else? And if not, that's good.
If you're looking to drive leads, events, lead magnets, but you've got to be really creative with lead magnets. Again, the more time we all spend on the internet, it's not brand new anymore, right? We're not using dial-up. The more savvy people become, so you've got to be really innovative. Those lead magnets, they better pack some punch, give some value. Surveys are great. People like surveys or assessments if you can give results. If you're trying to collect leads, that's probably not going to work B2B. Some really interesting things to do B2B. You could think about if there's a book, and I'm not saying that you have one. It's great if you did, but think of something that might be tied to your business and send it to key contacts with a note. That might be a great way to start kind of getting in the door. I've worked with a couple of authors and they'll send their books to cold leads just free of charge with a little note. Hey, I know you've got a ton of books on your shelf, but here's why you should read this one, and in hopes of doing that. So get creative. Yes, if you don't have a CRM and you're interested in getting a CRM, email Ramon, email myself. We can get you a link for a free trial. Our favorites Keep. That's who we use, but that's who we use. I am certified in many of them because I like them all, and you'll see that each CRM has its strengths and weaknesses. There are some like Keep that Keep Zoho that advertise themselves to be an all-in-one, and they are in the sense that you can run your email marketing, you can run your sales pipeline, you can run your e-commerce, and handle your client kind of profiles in one place. But just like Walmart was supposed to be the one-stop shop, no one just goes to Walmart, right? Everyone has to go to a second or third store. So even your all-in-ones are going to require maybe some integration, some extra tools. Some CRMs just do things better than others. If you want advice on which CRM is great for you, email me. I'm happy to spend a half an hour learning about your business, what your goals are. Usually what your goals in your sales process are determine which CRM is best. And their price points go anywhere from free. There's actually a few free CRMs out there with basic functionality to, I know HubSpot can run you, if you get the Gambit, several $100s a month. So it just depends on budget, power, need. But I believe in only buying what you're going to use.
And we have a hand here from the amazing Lee Hayes, JB. Hey, Lee, the floor is all yours.
I love being amazing. Thank you.
You're welcome, Lee.
So I found my little hand. Yay. I have forms on my website. So I have my path to the main stage, which is helping speakers get to the main stage, right? Growing their business. And then I have Go Leeward, which is my existing speakers, who I help manage their negotiations and contracts and all this. On each one, I have a contact me, and it goes right into my Zoho. Worked great for years. And now suddenly in the last few weeks, I'm getting spammed like crazy. What do? I don't want to start adding like layers of figure out the crosswalks and all those drive me crazy. Do I kill the form and restart it, or what do I do? Because there's a pattern to it. Like it's the same spammers.
killing your form and restarting it. The spammers have found your website. They're just going to continue to spam it no matter the form. So I'd have to do a quick search. One off the top of my head is Spam Kill. There are actually a couple of integrations out there now that you can add code to your form, and the code actually looks for email addresses that tend to be very spammy. I've got a client who, she has like 5 forms, and for whatever reason, only one of them is being spammed heavy by Russia. Coincidentally, that spam has picked up in the last few weeks. I don't know if that has anything to go with the news, but and I put Spam Kill on, and now Spam Kill catches it. If it's got a .ru, it doesn't even let it come in. So it doesn't have to just be .ru. So look for Spam Kill and their competitors, Lee. There are things that you can do to add a little bit of code to those forms to pull those out, because yes, I hate CAPTCHA too.
Right, I hate CAPTCHA. I can't get past CAPTCHA. I can't do it.
Jamie and Lee, who are on the I hate CAPTCHA on the one side of the aisle, let me bring some reason and clarity to this discussion, ladies. CAPTCHA can be okay. There's, again, Jamie knows the details probably better than me, but there's hidden CAPTCHA, all kind of CAPTCHA. And for me, Lee, because I was going through the same thing, I had to have a web developer, could have been Jamie or somebody else. The point is somebody kind of redid it. I didn't have to redo everything, but they redid it, updated it, and the spam did go away. So, but Spam Kill works, but you may want to do a little technical revision, because the CAPTCHA, all of it's not, I don't want to have to use the crosswalk. That was my imitation of Lee. But there's ways to do it that are behind the scenes, Lee.
Anyone else?
Yes, let's keep the questions coming in. Remember, everybody, those who have CRM and you're not using it well, you're like, you know what? I could have somebody tweak this, do it better. Just email us. Jamie@smarthustle.com, Ramona@smarthustle.com. We can help you. For those who already have it, or if you have your team, great. We hope today helped you say, hey, listen to what Jamie's saying, do this for me. Those of you who do not have, again, I don't like the word CRM, customer relationship management, contact management, whatever you want to call it, or do not have this, you're like, Ramon, it's time for me to implement a system like this and maybe even set it up. Email me or Jamie, email Jamie as well, and we'll guide you some tools, what you can do it. But Evan is already saying it
chat again.
Great, but we're here to help. And somebody asked me, how often do we do this? I think that Jamie and I are going to do this on a regular basis. We'll figure out how to do it, what the best way to do it. But clearly, majority of people who are here have stayed for this. And so clearly, you guys are smart people. You're here for a reason. So we're glad you're here. But Jamie, back to you. How do you want to continue on?
Yeah, I mean, if this is something that you guys like, we're happy to do it again. Again, this was 6 ideas. There are dozens upon dozens. This is just marketing automation. We can talk about learning management systems. We can talk about membership sites. We can talk about all the things that small business owners or solopreneurs, many of you are, it's just you, right? Need to automate and to operate, just to operate effectively. Again, when I first started my business, I was working 16-hour days and I was like, I thought I did this for freedom. This is not freeing. I'm always telling Ramon, we should automate this. We're doing this a lot. We should just automate this because we could spend time doing other things. And again, it's not because tech and automation is my jam. It's because I literally was that person doing too much. And I want to see Ramon grow and scale. And you can't do that if you're on this hamster wheel, right? So, and if you can't automate, delegate.
And Jamie knows I'm a giver as well. She's seen me, and Lee has been with me anytime too, seen me in front of hundreds of thousands of people. Everybody, you know what? Just send me an email. Oh no. And then I'm like, Jamie, one thing I will say, let me just see in the chat, who would like me to share about how I automate? And it's only half automation. Sorry, Jamie. We have to complete the automation, but it's working okay. Who wants me to tell them how I automate with Instagram? And that has been like off the chain. Okay, only Sharon wants it, so we're not going to do it. I'm going to close the
No, there's a time. Go.
Evan's like, Ramon, don't you see me there? So here's the bottom line. Again, we're not selling nothing here. We're just sharing knowledge, sharing information. We appreciate you all being here, part of Smart Hustle. Some of you are in Smart Hustle Nation. All of you are already on the list, so I don't need your emails for that. You're already on the list, but we want to help you grow your business. And again, email Jamie or myself for how we can help you in your business further. Those of you who have CRM, let us know. And before I say what I'm doing, by the way, I will say other topics you want, just email us. That's either reply back to the emails you've gotten from us. You know, is it like email marketing? Do you want help with video, websites, landing pages, anything on the marketing side of things? We can help.
Funnels.
So
sales
funnels
funnel.
and all
I
those
think we
things.
should have a sales funnel workshop, Ramon.
We'll do it. So let us know. So here's the thing. And then we'll probably, if Jamie agrees, we'll get ready to wind down the night if there's no more questions. Paul, thank you so much, Brenda. But here's the bottom line. There's a service. So let me tell you what I do first. And it's been crazy. And I've been receiving dividends for months later. So I'm at an event like this, and this is live. You can do it. Hey, everybody, thanks so much for joining. If you DM me the word solo, you can get access to my Grow Your Solo book. Or things like, hey, if you DM me the word virtual assistant, you can write on Instagram, you can get information about virtual assistants. Another one I do, Marvin, Linnell will know, and Christina, if you DM me the word distractions, you can get information about, is it a distraction or something else that Marvin says, Linnell, right? So on Instagram, my Instagram, by the way, is Ramon Ray Smart Hustle. You can test this right now. DM the word solo, DM the word celebrity CEO, DM the word, I think, virtual assistants, and a few other things I do. Some of you are probably getting, when you get that Instagram, can you just put IG in the chat if you tried it now, solo or celebrity CEO or virtual assistants, maybe distractions, and some other words I use. So when you get it, just put IG or something in there. But here's how I do it. There's a tool I have called ManyChat, M-A-N-Y. Okay, no problem, Brenda. ManyChat, M-A-N-Y chat. What the cost is, I don't know. I don't like to do cost so much because you all should be able to, we should try to spend 10 to 100 a month on, some software helps us. So I have ManyChat. It connects to my Instagram business thing. And when I'm at events, Evan, for somebody like you and others who are coaches, consultants, speakers, people get a reply. So I don't know if that makes sense what I'm saying, but the power of that means you can be at an event. Evan can be there and say, hey, listen, thank you all for being here. I can't stay long. If you want these 6 tips, DM me on Instagram, the word mindset, and I will send you the tips. That means people get the knowledge, get the information, send them a link to your website, and et cetera. So it's called ManyChat. I connect to Instagram, and one live example right now, if you DM me the word solo on Instagram, my Instagram handle is Ramon Ray Smart Hustle. Many of you already follow me. You'll get a reply back from me. So I'll stop there, but that's a simple, these are the hacks we're talking about. And the connection is not done because ideally it should be capture the email and all that, but that's just a taste. Every little bit you can do to scale yourself. I no longer have to capture business cards at an event. I can say, just DM me and people will sign up on all that. Go ahead.
Let me call Ramon out here for a moment because I love what he does on IG. And what I ask him every single time is after he has delivered the VA, the whatever people have DM'd him, he's not doing any follow-up. So all of those people, they are being put into the newsletter, right? So you'll start getting the newsletter, which is great. But again, these people reached out for a very specific reason. And so they should go into a funnel that is related to the very specific reason they asked to help move them along through their journey. So Ramon got 75% of it right. Don't be like Ramon. Have a follow-up in place.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And again, we're getting there. We're getting there. But listen, any other questions? We'll take about 7 more minutes, Jamie. Cool. 7 more minutes. We'll see.
Yeah.
But I have plenty more time. But if there's
Jamie's
none, we don't have to
email. Your email, Jamie.
Yes. Yeah. My email is Jamie@Smart Hustle. You can get me there.
Oh, okay.
I can give you my other business email. That's fine as well. Ramon doesn't mind sharing me. I'll throw that in here.
And Linnell has a question while Jamie's doing that. Linnell, feel free to unmute and go ahead. And Linnell, again, thanks for being here. Linnell, before you leave, when your question's over, feel free to put your link, Linnell, in the chat. Again, I know many of you here, but I can't always shout out everybody because we're going so fast. But Linnell, feel free. One second, Linnell. Linnell, feel free to put your thing in there. Evan, great mindset coach. Evan, please put your chat in there. Again, sorry if I don't shout out everybody. Forgive me. Steve Isaacson has a great business doing printing and promotions, things like that. Christina Howard, some amazing things you may want to buy from her. So Christina, thank you, Evan. Got to go. I know.
Hi, Evan.
Christina, do that. So Linnell, okay, with that, Linnell, all yours, please, feel free.
Thank you, Ramon. Appreciate you. Jamie. So it seems to me like people are finding my email address, even though I have it hidden, on Instagram. Can you tell me a little bit about that and how we can use Instagram to capture those email addresses?
Linnell, you have found my kryptonite, social media. Social media is not my jam. I can connect it. I can help you automate certain things, but how the different platform works, Ramon will tell you, is not.
But that's why we can, right now,
Ramon might be able to help you though, because social media is Ramon's jam all day.
Yeah, no, bottom line, Linnell, you keep doing it, doing it, doing it. Hey, I'm Linnell. Here's information. Here's advice. Get those short form videos. Get the graphics up that have the little, 3 ways to do this. That's the awareness. That's
No,
the attention. Oh,
I think Linnell has a problem there. She has her email address hidden, but people are finding it anyway and emailing her. Correct, Linnell? Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to figure out. So how am I capturing these email addresses? Because I didn't even know that you could do something like this in order to create that funnel. So do you guys have an
so you're saying it's working? You're saying it is working. Something's working, but you don't know why it's working.
Well,
You're welcome, Christina.
Me, like I'm getting a bunch of emails from people that are either associated with Clubhouse or we follow each other on Instagram. And then I get inundated with their sales, whatever they have. So is this something that you're going to individually and you're capturing the email address, or is it an automated process as well? Am I clear on the question?
For us, Ramon asks people to DM him, and when they DM him, they automatically get the information right through IG. We're not collecting email addresses. That's why I'm yelling at Ramon. He should be collecting email addresses. We're not doing it. He could be, but we're not. It sounds to me like that's what's happening to you. Probably some phishers, some, I don't want to call them bots, but you've got a lot of PR teams that hire
Scrapers.
Yeah, scrapers, less savory people who will do what they can to find your email, and then just it's no different than spamming your form, right? They just found your email and they're spamming you directly instead of your form.
Thank you, Terrence. And I think also, Linnell, that maybe your email, Linnell, is somewhere buried. If I'm understanding the question correct, forgive me, but if you're wondering how they're getting your email as well, in case somebody's asking that, is that it could be in an about section somewhere buried and you just don't know it. Remember, like in Facebook, there's like 75,000 different tabs where you can put some text somewhere. You or an assistant could have put that, hey, Barbara, thank you so much, could have put that somewhere. So sometimes you may want to slowly go through each one of your platforms and you'll be like, oh, I didn't know this was there, if that's helpful.
That is very helpful, Ramon. Thank you. Thank you, Jamie.
You're welcome. I wish I could have been more helpful. Yeah. So just anyone who needs to know, social media, not my thing.
All right.
Any other questions? No? Okay. I did see some people ask, they were interested in a sales funnel workshop. I think there are some interested people in doing this again, doing it more often. So what I'll do is if we plan a second event, we'll do a different topic. We could talk marketing automation, of course, for years. It's constantly changing, but maybe we'll do a different topic and I will make sure that this group is the first to know.
Awesome. Jamie, you are awesome. And to remind people, feel free to email me or Jamie. If, again, those of you who have CRM, marketing automation already, and you want to do it better, maybe you're like, ooh, things you're saying, my team or I'm just not doing it well. Email Jamie, see how we can help you. Number 2, those of you who do not have any CRM at all, you got to have a CRM system. That's nothing to do with me. And we'll recommend, Jamie will, but I'm happy to jump in and help as need be as well, what system you may want. And then if you need help setting that up and et cetera, we can help with that. But we're glad today. Listen, I talk about on Clubhouse, by the way, 7:30 a.m. every Monday. And I don't need to say this already. You guys already follow me. So feel free to hit me up. But listen, it's about follow up. And this has been on CRM. Jamie, you want to close us out? We're thankful that you all are here. And Steve, Jamie, before you do that, hold that thought. Steve Isaacson may have a last question, Jamie. Go ahead, Steve.
Go for it. Yes,
and then Jamie will close
is
us out.
CRM. Yes, Sharon. Sorry. Go ahead, Steve.
No, that wasn't a question. That was just applause.
Oh,
received. Go ahead.
Thank you
Jamie.
very much for recognizing me.
Thank you, Steve.
Sharon. ConvertKit is an email marketing and like landing page. There's some CRM aspects. I would not call it a true CRM. It's not one of my favorites, but there is some CRM, things that you can do in there. Hands down, my favorite are Keep, Zoho. Keep and Zoho are my favorite. HubSpot's great if you can afford it and you have the time and energy to put into it, because it can be a lot. Dubsoda is great. Contactually is really good, particularly for real estate agents. There's actually several CRMs that are very specific to nonprofits because they can help you manage donations. So there, you don't have to use one of the most popular. There are CRMs out there for very specific industries that do certain things very well. So again, if you want a CRM, we can give you some links to some free trials of our favorites. I can make a recommendation based on your very unique case. Email me, we'll follow up. Thank you for coming. Oh, Regina knows contactually. Yay. Thank you for coming. I have to be honest, this is my experiment and this is my first time kind of presenting. So it was exciting to have such a big and engaged and friendly group. Thank you so much for having me. And I think we'll be doing this again soon.
Thank you, Jamie. Good to see you all. Have a great day, everybody. See you all whenever we see you.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Thanks, Jamie. Bye-bye.
Again.